Okay, good morning, everyone. Am I audible? Now, because this is a Zoom webinar, I know you participants cannot unmute, so I request everyone to write down in the chat if I'm clearly audible or not. Now we'll start the session in the next 1 or 2 minutes, okay? Because anyways, there is no point in waiting out for more participants because some people are joining via YouTube live and some are on the Zoom webinar. So yes, we have kept both of the options ready. So the people who were not able to register or the people who did not register on time, so for them, it's not something that they won't be able to attend. Yeah, the only criteria will be that they won't be able to get the certificate because the ones who have registered are there in the WhatsApp group. You all people are there on the WhatsApp group, and you all will be, I mean, the ones who will be there till the end and filling up the feedback form will be getting the certificate of participation, right? But still, many of them are joining via YouTube as well. So, there will be at times that you might feel that the participants are less because some of them are, there on Zoom as well. Okay. So let's just wait for 1 more minute and then we'll start. Okay, I guess it's the right time to start now. Okay, so I'll also introduce myself as well as. So hello everyone and good morning, and I hope you are doing well in your health. And yeah, today is Saturday. Many of them are probably busy, so many of them couldn't join due to the day and the time restrictions, right? So anyways, because of that, the participant count is less. No worries. Anyways, the live is on YouTube as well. The recording will be there later for the ones who missed out. But the only criteria is you people who are attending till the end will be getting out the certificates. So I'll quickly introduce myself first and foremost. So I'll also start sharing my screen simultaneously. So I hope my screen is completely visible. Let me know in the chat section if it's visible. I am visible or not. If my screen is visible or not, I can write down in the chat. I'll be keeping the chat section. I'll be checking the chat section in between for sure. Cool. Okay, so for maximum of them, it's visible. Screen not visible. Okay. Screen is also visible, guys. Are you able to see my screen? Yes, cool. So I'll quickly introduce myself. At the very first, thing is like my name is Urvesh Thakkar, and probably you all know my name so far. But talking about my work experience, I'm in this field of cybersecurity specifically cyber crime investigation and blue teaming or cyber defense since nearly 4.5 years now. I have good experience in SIEM solutions, DFIR, threat hunting, threat intelligence, OSINT, forensics, etc., etc. Now, talking about my experience so far, so I am the co-founder and chief academic officer at Virtual Cyber Labs, and this is a place where me and my entire team, who are the like-minded folks like me, we together have come up and built up this amazing platform, this amazing company where we try to provide the industry ready trainings and industry ready courses to the audience in such a way that the placements or the work or the securement of the futures is guaranteed. Apart from that, I have interest in psychology, cyber psychology specifically. So my research area is cyber psychology, that how the human mind can be influenced with the use of technologies and all. Apart from that, I have been instructor, and I've been uh, as you can say a core team member, or you can say information security consultant at many places. I was working with Cybercrime Helpline LLP, a private investigation firm. Over there, I was an R&D executive. I've been working mainly, I mean, most of my years that I have been working into the field of cybersecurity, maximum of my experience come from training background, being an instructor, being a mentor, and, being a subject matter expert in specific cybersecurity subjects, right? So apart from that, I have been working as an intern previously with AICTE. I was associated with ISAC. I was also working with Maharashtra Cyber back in 2019, Office of Special Inspector General of Police. So apart from that, some of my certifications you can see on my LinkedIn page and also. The only purpose of me talking about myself was to introduce that who am I very quickly. If you want to know more about me, you can definitely check out my LinkedIn page and I'll be happy to connect with you all. Now, first of all, I welcome you all for this amazing webinar, and thank you for giving up your time and registering. Uh, I know many of them could be busy. Today's Saturday and it's morning 11 a.m. and things are not that easy these days to take out time. But then still, you people did. Thanks a lot for registering and taking out time. And I really hope that you will be able to take valuable insights from this particular session, right? So I'll be talking about this entire topic called as adversary simulation, not in complete depth, but in a way or in a brief that for the ones who don't even know what this name or what this particular topic means, they'll be able to understand the entire thing without any issues very clearly. And don't worry, the session won't be boring. I won't be presenting you the slides with all the text written over there. Pura ka pura paragraph I have added and I'm just reading out that paragraph. No, this is not a university or a college or a school lecture or something, a normal else boring webinar. It will be interesting. We'll be starting up now so that we get enough time so that I can even show you some of the practicals as well, right? So without any delay, let's get started. And I hope my presentation is in full screen mode. And is it visible in full screen mode? Although I'm able to see on the left hand side as well, but still for the participants and I'm asking if it's visible or not. Okay, amazing. Thank you. So this particular topic, adversary simulation, what exactly does this mean? And as the name says, be your own enemy. Now, as I start this particular session, as I start this particular webinar, I would like to highlight a quote from the book Art of War by Sun Tzu. And the quote says, to know your enemy, you must become your enemy. And I'm probably sure many of you people, I mean, many of you could have even read the book Art of War. And if not, many of you could have heard of this book, could have heard of the book or the quotes of this particular book in many web series and all those stuff. So it's a very famous book, basically. It's amazing. So he says, to know your enemy, you must become your enemy. And this is what the entire webinar revolves around today, that we will be understanding that how in a corporate cybersecurity environment or how in cybersecurity, if there are, there is a need that we need to carry out some you can say attack operations, or we need to test out some operations that how a specific attack could happen on our network or could occur on this particular machine, how it would react, what we need to do, how we will be going up with that particular uh, environment to secure it, and what will be the outcome. So yes, this is what we are going to do. We will be becoming our own enemy to know the enemy which may attack in the future. Now, I know I'm making it too complex, but all I'm trying to say is organizations, they have basically two types of teams. One is defensive and one is offensive. The defensive is called as the blue team and the offensive is called as the red team. Now, if I talk about myself, guys, I am 90 to 95% involved on the blue side. I am a defensive person. I am someone belonging to the blue cap, right? And there are many, the people who start their career in cybersecurity, 90% of those people, they enter the offensive side thinking that it's the only thing and thinking that it's crazy. But then it's not only offensive, it's defensive as well. In fact, today's companies are focusing more towards defensive. They are more defensive inclined rather than offensive inclined. The reason being that is they want the wall to be strong. They want the defense mechanism to be strong so that nobody could, break into that wall, right? So at the end of the day, what this session will be talking about, if I want to talk about adversary simulation in a very simple term, then we as a blue team people, or we being into the defensive sector, how we can test offensive attacks without having an offensive team. That is what will be the focus of the entire webinar. Okay, so as I was saying about the blue team and the red team, here the red team comes into action. Now, what exactly is a red team or the offensive team or offensive security? So they are the ones, who have various and too much in-depth experience in terms of bypassing the defense mechanisms. इनको पता है कि सामने वाले सिस्टम को कैसे फोड़ना है. I hope audience is okay in Hindi and English both. Anyone who is only English, I mean, if it's okay, right? If I take the session in both of the language, because at times Hindi is more expressive. Okay, only English, no worries. I'll be giving examples in both for Hindi and English, so don't worry. But I guess other audience are okay in Hindi as well. Okay, please English, cool. I'll be keep it more English oriented then. Cool, no worries. So at the end of the day, these are the people who know that how you can get into the systems, how you can bypass the defensive mechanisms. In fact, red team, they are the ones who are given legitimate permission from the organization that yes, you can attack in our system with proper permissions. Now, why? I mean, as I said, that why an organization, will wish that they should get attacked by their own team. Now, it's not something that they are enjoying it, but then the fact is, the red team is specifically meant for, ethical hacking or ethical penetration testing, so that instead someone, from outside the network, some real attacker group or some, legit cyber criminals, before they could take advantage of some certain attack, these red team people, they take they take legal permissions from the organizations. The organization, sometimes, if it's a big organization, they have their own dedicated red team, fully working for the organization 24/7, so they are the ones who basically try and find out different possibilities, different ways that how they can enter into the system and, bypass the antivirus solutions, defeat the defensive technologies and all. Now, the only reason for doing that is because they should be able to find out the loophole. And then later, once the loophole is identified, they escalate this matter to either the defensive team or to the, security team, SOC team, and they are the ones who, fix up with whatever solution is suggested. Now, they are the ones who focus on finding out new vulnerabilities, techniques to bypass the defensive walls, and much more. I already said even more than what it's written on the slides, right? So this is what a red team does in a very generalized and a simple manner. I'm saying many of you probably could be from cybersecurity background. For you people, it's a very basic and generalized concept. I mean, red team is far more than what I'm talking about. But still, there are audience inside this webinar who don't know anything about cybersecurity. So considering them in mind, I'm going at a very simple and a general way. Okay. So I hope that this particular understanding, I mean, what red team does in general is clear to you all. Going further. Now, before I move on to this particular slide, I want to highlight some things that a blue team does. So blue team or the defensive team is responsible for developing defensive strategies. They are the ones who build up the wall. They are the ones who ensure that enough security mechanisms are applied, enough technologies are used, the best technologies are used, so that the attackers could not come into and penetrate into our network. This is what a blue team does. I mean, if you just think of offense and defense, those two names are enough for you to get an understanding of what these two teams are doing, right? But at the end of the day, the blue team operations are more vivid in nature, in a way that the entire blue team is bifurcated into various branches. All the red team is also divided at times, but then blue team is divided into such branches where each branch is doing a different dedicated job. So inside blue team, some of the people will be working in an SIEM solution. Now you might be looking at me and saying, I mean, what he's talking about? What are these names he's saying from? He's from Mars or something? No. Now, SIEM solution is one of those technologies in an organization where all the logs are coming from all the different machines. They are collected at one single place and analyzed. And if there are any abnormalities, they are dealt with. So SIM solutions are there, antivirus, firewalls, EDR, endpoint detection response solutions. So some people are working on these technologies. Some people are domain specific, as I am, threat intelligence, threat hunting, digital forensic team, incident response team, right? Data privacy team. So although data privacy comes into governance, but at the end of the day, the bifurcation inside blue team is quite vivid and quite huge. So at the end of the day, that's the reason I said that companies are more oriented towards blue team, these days, because the defense is the first line of defense is the priority for the organizations. Now, talking about the red and the blue team, now what is the red team, what is blue team. I have explained in a very simple way what do they do. Now, there is something on the internet called as the MITRE ATT&CK framework. Okay, many people call it as MITRE ATT&CK, but the actual pronunciation is called as the MITRE ATT&CK framework or the MITRE ATT&CK page. Now, what basically this particular entire framework means, and why all of a sudden I was talking about red team and then blue team, and why all of a sudden this thing came into existence. I'll be talking about MITRE ATT&CK framework in a very simple way first, and then I'll be showcasing you the website of MITRE ATT&CK. So MITRE ATT&CK, basically the word over here, as you can see, MITRE over here, right? This MITRE, it is not a name of a tool or something, okay? It is basically a organization name. It's a non-profit, externally funded research organization, which is working on various different cybersecurity projects. Okay, so it's not something that ATT&CK is the only project. MITRE is a group. MITRE is an organization working on various cybersecurity projects, and those are either in private sector, either involving with government and all, but they are there since a very long time into the industry. And ATT&CK is one of their framework, that they have designed. Now, ATT&CK over here stands for adversary, tactics, techniques, and common knowledge. I repeat, adversary, tactics, techniques, and common knowledge. This is what the ATT&CK framework stands for. Now, if I want to talk about this entire framework in a very simple term, it's nothing but it's a particular framework, or it's a particular resource where what are the different kinds of attack that could occur inside a system, and what are the different tactics and the techniques through which the attack could occur. It's a list of all those techniques. Okay, and it's being updated. MITRE ATT&CK project is never complete. Every certain time they release new version of ATT&CK framework. So as they updated, there are new tactics, new techniques added in simple ways. The methods through which an organization could be targeted, or the different methods of attack through which an organization could be targeted, is listed on side the MITRE ATT&CK framework. Now I'm seeing you don't take me wrong, but then this entire word MITRE ATT&CK, if you go out and look out into the industry today, if you search up on Google as well, okay, companies, training companies, they are charging 8,000, 10,000, 15,000 rupees to teach you use cases of MITRE ATT&CK framework. Yeah, I mean, I'm not naming out any company over here. You are intelligent enough, you can search it on Google. You know, companies are charging up 8K, 10K, 15K to teach the MITRE ATT&CK framework use cases in different ways. You know, this webinar, 1 hour webinar, cannot focus on everything, right? I have time restrictions. We have to stick to the topic. But the attack framework in general is a very vivid and a very important subject, you know, and it is important. It's in need of an hour. If anyone, being in red team or being in blue team, if doesn't know about the attack framework today, it's considered as one of the person who is outdated into the industry. Okay, but let me tell you an amazing thing. We at Virtual Cyber Labs have kept the entire course of MITRE ATT&CK framework free on our platform. I mean, I'm not promoting in between. I'll be coming to that at the end of the webinar. But talking about the attack framework now, if we visit this particular website, attack.mitre.org, this is the main website for the MITRE ATT&CK framework. And if I go inside the section of matrices, and we have an enterprise matrix, and I'll choose view on Attack Navigator. Create a new layer and enterprise layer. Now, this entire framework that you're seeing on your screen, you know, yeah, this entire thing, I have zoomed out. I know it's not visible, but I've zoomed out just to show you the entire, you know, framework. So this entire framework is called as the MITRE ATT&CK framework, or the MITRE ATT&CK Navigator page, where you can see the enterprise matrix of MITRE ATT&CK. Now, I won't be going too deep into this, otherwise it will be quite confusing, because you need to understand one thing, that this session is focusing towards adversary simulation and not MITRE ATT&CK. Okay, so at the end of the day, whatever you are seeing over here are all the tactics and the techniques through which an organization, or there are different, what are the methods of conducting a specific attack. Okay, now if you see over here, whatever thing that is there on the top in bold, it is called as tactics. Reconnaissance, for example, the meaning of reconnaissance means to gather information. Information gathering is reconnaissance. It is very important for any you know, security group, or whether it's ethical hackers, whether they are cyber criminals or whosoever it is. Without gathering information, any attack could not be planned or could not be executed. Information gathering is important. In day-to-day life also, you can compare, right? If you don't have information about your crush, what she likes, what she doesn't like, how can you impress her? You need information, right? Through which you can try to initiate a contact, through which you can get started, through which you can tell her, okay, that I am also liking this or that, like as you do. I mean, just normally an example, don't take me wrong. But at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is, without information, nothing is possible today. Same goes with the, you know, cybersecurity zone. So reconnaissance means information gathering. So and this is a particular tactic, and under this particular tactic, there are techniques and sub-techniques. Okay, so if I want to perform reconnaissance, these are the tactics. So it could be reconnaissance on the host information. I could do reconnaissance to gather identity information. I could do reconnaissance to gain network information. I could do reconnaissance for organizational information, or I could even conduct phishing attack to gain information. So these are the various techniques through which but reconnaissance can be done. Each technique have its sub-technique. So if I zoom in over here, you see that there is 0 of 4, 0 of 3, 0 of 3, etc. And if I click on this pipe symbol over here, it will expand up to show me the sub-techniques. So what does it mean? That I want to do reconnaissance. I'm doing reconnaissance to gather network information. And what is all included inside the network information? I can perform a technique or a sub-technique where I'm getting domain properties, DNS, IP, all this other part of a network. So inside network information also, it is expanded that what kind of network information is being taken. Similarly, if I choose phishing for information would be through attachments sent via email, either through an or phishing. And if you see carefully, or let me go back to the website over here. Okay, or I guess I can do the same thing over here as well. Yeah. So I just went on this particular configuration page and just selected show IDs over here. Now, as you see, there are some numbers written over here, numbers and some hexadecimal characters, TA0043, T1590.002. These are the techniques and the sub technique numbers. This is what the attack framework is focusing towards providing to the industry. I'll tell you guys, red team and blue team. Oh, by the way, I notice right now looking at myself, I am a blue team member. I'm wearing a red t-shirt. Wow. Because it's adversary simulation, right? So red team and blue team, they are quite opposite. One is offensive, one is defensive. One is north, one is south. It's not always that opposite attracts. Okay, it's not always. So these two teams, generally they are always in collar to collar competition in each other. Red always tries to defeat blue, blue always tries to defeat the red. Okay, and because of this, there is no singular or there is no collaborative work done together. So that's why attack framework is one of those important assets or those important frameworks into the industry that gives a way to communicate on a common channel. At times, whatever the red team is doing, the blue team won't understand it. If another co-founder, Dipanshu Parashar, if Dipanshu sir comes in and talks to me, Urvesh sir, I have basically exploited this particular Windows machine using this UAC bypass exploit and all those things, I'll be like, bro, I don't know it, please. I'm not into that. I'm not into offensive, so I don't know exactly what you're talking. Yeah, I'll be understanding a little bit, but if he goes and explains me the technicalities, I'll be like, no, I don't know, I need to check, I need to research myself. And if I go and say to Dipanshu sir that today I identified an Wazoo implementation, how you can integrate some VirusTotal into it, and I mean whatever I'm talking, he won't be understanding it at all, right? So this attack framework provides a centralized communication channel for the red and blue team. So if I want to communicate with red team, instead of telling them what I'm trying to do, I can just tell them that this is my defensive mechanism, and in this defensive mechanisms, these particular tactics, T15989, T1590, 590.06, 590.004 are the techniques and the sub techniques that are covered. Similarly, red team, if they are conducting some assessment on my system, instead of telling me what the attack in detail was, because and forget about the red and blue team, let's talk about the management perspective. That CEO over there, or that the stakeholders over there, they don't know what is all this. They'll be like, we don't want technical answers, we want something strategic intelligence. We want that. I mean, like, if I am on a management level, guys, I don't know what this thing means. For me, the only thing that will be important, tell me, how does this affect my business? That's business, right? I don't know what you're trying to say, this attack and red and blue and what attack it is. I just want to know that how does it affect my business, right? In that case also, this particular thing comes into action, because I can include these IDs and these numbers. The red team can perform some assessment, and red team can say to me, to the blue team, that these are the TTPs, tactics, techniques, and procedures that we particularly have identified and covered, out of which, for example, T1590.002 was successful, T1590.006 was not successful. I mean, in a way that successful means that, yeah, they were able to execute this. They were not able to execute this because my defense mechanism blocked it, whatever the reason could be. So attack frameworks gives a centralized communication channel for the red, blue, and the entire cybersecurity ecosystem. I hope the attack framework is clear. Now, there is no point in explaining the attack framework more beyond this point, but whatever it was important to understand what we are going to do further, that much I have explained, okay, to you. And I don't want to make this session a webinar on attack framework. This is a webinar on adversary simulation. So let's talk about it. Okay. Now, very quickly talking about one last thing about the attack framework. What is important, as I showed you on the screen right now, all those tactics and the techniques and the sub techniques numbers. They are generally referred as TTPs, tactics, techniques, and procedures. Now over here, you have introduced, I have added a new word, adversary. Now I am tired of speaking so much. I want you all people to interact, and anyone who can give a try. What do you mean by an adversary? Or what is the meaning of adversary? You can write down in the chat. Enemy. Exactly. Thank you, Prince. So adversary means enemy. It's just like the Batman and the Joker movie, where Joker is the enemy and Batman is the, the main character, right? I won't say Batman is the hero because many people love Joker as well. Joker gang, hashtag Joker gang. So, but anyways, coming back, adversary are nothing but enemies. So in the terms of cybersecurity, adversary are nothing but criminal groups, cyber criminal groups, or any attacker or any threat or any enemy imposing towards the organization. Okay. Now, these are the adversary TTPs. So whatever that we saw on the screen on the attack framework, those were the TTPs that can be executed by any adversary against any organization. So if I talk about TTPs, I'll be explaining you TTPs in the most simplest way right now. Tactics, we saw reconnaissance was one of those tactics, and there were many more tactics like privilege escalation, lateral movement, etc. So what is tactic at the end of the day? Tactic is nothing, but if you can see my screen, I'm highlighting, with the mouse. I mean, I'm just, circling out with the mouse. This pointer over here is, tactic at the end of the day is goal. Assume that you want to go to a destination. Okay. So I want to go to Goa. Okay. That will be my tactic. That is my goal, to go to Goa. Okay. Technique. Now, how can I go to Goa? I can go either via flight, I can go either via train, I can go either via bus, I can go either via my car. I can tell off one of my friend to drop me if anyone is going towards Goa. I can go to Goa in multiple ways, depending. So those multiple ways are the techniques. As we saw previously on the screen, reconnaissance was the goal. Reconnaissance was the tactic. And to perform reconnaissance, there were multiple ways. There were multiple techniques we saw, right? So those are techniques. And procedures. Implementation of techniques are called as procedures. Okay. So coming back to my example, Goa is my tactic. Going with the flight is my technique. So I decided that I'll be going with flight. I'll be going through flight, or yeah. So which airlines? I decided I'll book Jet Airways or Indigo Airlines or whatever it could be, but I want to go from flight, right? So going from the flight will be my technique to reach towards my tactic, right? And procedure will be implementation of the technique. Now, once I decide my tactic, once I decide my technique, what I'm waiting for, I'll execute it. So I decided I want to go to Goa. I decided that I'll go from flight. And what I'll do now in the procedure, I'll be, getting up from the chair. I'll be going, either to the airport, or I'll be basically, seeing on GoIbibo, I'll be booking my tickets. I'll be making the payment. So the entire procedure that I'm implementing to reach towards my goal will be the procedure. Okay. So the same thing is what attack framework is focusing towards on we saw right now. Reconnaissance we saw was a tactic. There were multiple ways to perform reconnaissance. Those were the techniques. And if you expand and see the pipe symbol, those are the sub techniques, which includes the specific implementation information, right? So I hope the concept of TTP is clear to you now. If you don't understand in terms of reconnaissance or attack framework, just remember Goa, flight, and ticket. I mean, that is important. That is essential. That will, instantly strike you about TTPs, right? So coming towards the next topic, the main core topic of today's webinar, adversary simulation. Now, abhi tak, whatever I've said so far, jo bhi maine bola, what's the use? Now, this is the use because if we want to get understanding of this particular topic over here, it was important for us to understand all those that I have said so far. Okay. Now, adversary simulation. What does this mean? So adversary simulation, as the name says, what is an adversary? Enemy, I just said, right? Let me show you something interesting. If you go onto the attack framework website and if you click on groups over here, I mean, you don't have to do it right now. I'm showing you later after the webinar, you can have a view on the attack framework website. If I go into groups, you can see that there are some names written over here. APT16, APT33, Aquatic Panda, Black Oasis, Backdoor Diplomacy. I mean, there are a lot. What are these? So if you read the official definition, groups are set of related intrusion activity that are tracked by a common name in a security community. Either a group are the set of similar activities, or they are the state-sponsored cyber attackers, or they are those group of criminals which are carrying out certain TTPs, right? So if I go into any one of the group, for example, APT28. Now, APT28, you see, it's not on, many other security providers, they don't call it APT28. There are different names given to a group, Similarly, if you go among your friends, you have some of your friends calling you with some other nickname, some of your friends calling you with some other nickname, some of my, friends call me the cyber geek. Some of my friends call me a stupid idiot. Depends, what role I'm playing in which group. So similarly, APT groups are also associated with different names. So APT28 is also called as Iron Twilight, Snake, Makel, Group 74, Pawn Storm, Fancy Beer, etc., etc. And what this group is associated with? This group is associated with Russia's General Staff Main Intelligence Directorate. So you can, point out that this is a state-sponsored cyber group, and if you scroll down, you see that each group has its own techniques. Okay, so if I click on view, you see it now, it highlighted all the TTPs used by this particular APT group. How cool it is, right? So the reason I introduced APT and adversary and all those things, because it's in connection with what we are studying. I have tried MITRE ATT&CK. I'll come to the, insights and the questions or your feedbacks later. Okay. I really appreciate Sam. Thanks for, being active. So coming back, adversary simulation. It means, if you remember the second slide, there was the quote, to know your enemy, you must become your enemy. So that is what adversary simulation focuses on. Adversary simulation means executing certain TTPs of some adversary groups. Or even if not there, even if you are not focusing on any group, you're focusing on some TTPs, executing those TTPs with an automated tool or with an automated environment to understand that whether a specific TTP is successful in my machine or it's not successful. If it's successful, if it's able to execute successfully, it means that this particular TTP is there in my system, it's being executed, and some other, someone outside the network or an actual adversary group can take advantage of it and can, come into the system. And if it's not successful, if a particular TTP is not being executed, simply means that yes, for this particular TTP, my defense mechanism is working perfectly, it's working in a strong way. And that is what adversary simulation, in a very, very, very simple term, it means. Okay, I cannot go more simple beyond this point. It just means that you are trying to replicate the actions of an actual adversary in an automated manner. It is very important, in an automated manner, because if you eliminate the word in an automated manner, right? And if I just talk about replicating the adversary actions, then I'm talking about the red team. That is what a red team does. But simulation, the name says simulate. It means to simulate something, to simulate, right? So you're not actually trying to be your adversary or something, but then you're trying to replicate what an adversary could do in an automated way. Okay. If you have ever been to a driving school or something, there are simulators, car simulators, Microsoft simulators. There is a game, Microsoft Flight Simulator and all. So what does it mean? That you are not driving an actual car, but you are, there is a machine that is, pretending you to, understand that, okay, you're driving a car in a simulation way, right? Similarly, adversary simulation, you're not, doing any a core red team operation. If it was red team, then they could focus in depth on TTPs. They could do it manually and they could explore out all the possibilities. But in terms of adversary simulation, it is mainly focused where a red team is not present, or where a blue team wants to quickly conduct a specific TTP test or conduct some, simulation on a specific, machine and get out the results. Also, it is also used by red team also. If there is something that the red team needs to do on a very quick basis or very quick assessment or something, they won't be wasting time in discussing the entire project roadmap and going in depth inside the system and all doing that. No, even red team members can use these simulation tools to conduct tests on specific TTPs on the machines and to understand which TTPs are successful. Okay, so why do we use it? I've already mentioned. If only a blue team is present, if there is no red team, want to conduct a small quick testing for specific TTPs very quickly. So testing against the latest threats, focusing on a specific adversary, and including all this, if you add the use of automation to it and eliminating the manual workforce, then this is what makes it as an adversary simulation. Automated. They are softwares. Okay, or they are quick tools, automatic tools. Right? So that is what adversary, simulation does. Now, the main section, tools. There are a lot of tools inside the market for testing and performing adversary simulation or adversary emulation. Some of the main ones that I've mentioned over here as the logos. This is MITRE Caldera. So see, this particular tool is developed by MITRE Attack itself. I mean, MITRE group itself. It is for adversary simulation. Okay. Then we have Atomic Red Team. We have Infection Monkey. There are many more tools. Okay. There is Sysmon Simulator. There are many tools, APT Simulator. There are various tools available out there onto the market right now, out of which I'll be quickly trying to show you. I'm not saying I'll be going in depth. I again repeat, this is a webinar. Okay, so I won't be going actually in depth into this particular thing, but I'll be just showcasing you that how these tools are working. Okay, so out of which we'll be utilizing Caldera and Infection Monkey as of now, just for the demonstration purpose. How does it look, right? So let's begin. Now, for the ones I'll be coming to a point where I'll be talking about how you can get more information on the MITRE Attack framework or adversary simulation in depth. I already mentioned earlier as well that we have a free course available on our platform, and I guess some of some in the participant also mentioned someone who it was, Ajay Balaji. Thank you so much. I mean, he also mentioned that there are some free resources on the Attack IQ Academy. I'll be covering all of that. I'll be telling you where to refer, what to refer, because I already said people are taking 10, 15K just to teach MITRE Attack framework. It's available free on our platform and other valuable platforms as well. At the end of the day, the Attack framework itself is open source and for the community purpose. Why to charge for it then, right? So coming back to the tool section over here. Okay, I know still for the ones you want to say that you have the tool ready in your machine, but how do I go up with the installation? There are documentations available. I'll be telling you resources also. On our own platform, we have a course on MITRE Attack where I have included the entire installation setup also. I'll be coming to that, but still, just to make this session specific, so this is a website, or this is a link that I'll be sharing down in the chat. Here, what I have done is I have this particular page is just for today's webinar. Okay. Those who just want to understand today's webinar topic. So for them, I have included the entire installation steps in simple way. I have just, taken it from the official docs only, but just kept it simple that if you want to install Caldera, first of all, you will be needing a Linux machine, right? And these are the commands that you need to execute and all. I am not going to go in installation part anyways as of now, not the focus of today's webinar. I'm sorry. Uh, just to save interest and the time, for all of us, if I go up and show the entire installation and all, the time will go in that only, so that's the only reason I have kept the things ready, beforehand, if it's okay. So what I have done, um, I hope that many of you know about DigitalOcean, Google Cloud, AWS. I mean, if not, at least one or two, Google Cloud, AWS, you all know, right? So similar to that, there is this platform called as DigitalOcean, where you can deploy your own cloud machines. What I have done is inside this DigitalOcean, I have deployed a Ubuntu Linux. Okay. And inside that Ubuntu Linux, Caldera is running. Okay. So first of all, what I'll do is I'll quickly connect to this Ubuntu machine and start the Caldera server. And over here I am. And if I just zoom in over here, you see the Caldera folder is already there. I've already set it up Caldera in my this cloud Ubuntu machine, and I'll just quickly start it. And yeah, it's up and running, I guess. Yeah. Now, if I take this IP address of my cloud machine and go to the port number 8888, you can see over here, guys, that Caldera is running. Caldera login page is there. I'll log in into my Caldera machine, Caldera console. And here is what Caldera looks like. I'm talking, guys, Caldera. If you focus on Caldera, entire, 2 days or 3 days boot camp can be taken on Caldera. It's so rich of features and in-depth thing to be understood. In fact, Caldera itself has a section where a training section over here, So if you see a user certificate, this Caldera section, it has all this training. So each particular point is, a particular, what we say, task that you need to perform. So as and on you perform the task, you automatically get to learn Caldera, and these flags are completed, and you get a particular tagline that you are a Caldera professional, that you know how to use Caldera, right? So let's not go into that stuff so deep, okay, as of now. If I go inside this agents section, this is important as of now. Agent section means my target machine. So what Caldera will do is the Caldera will create an exe file or particular agent, whatever it could be. I could run Caldera agent on Windows, Linux, or even Mac. As of now, I'll be targeting Windows. Okay. So that agent, once executed on the target machine, will be connected with this Caldera console. And from there onwards, inside Caldera, we can execute the TTPs on that specific machine. So let's just do that. But before that, let me just fire up my Windows machine. So I have my Windows 10 running in virtual VMware workstation as a virtual machine. This is the machine that I'll be targeting. Okay. I'll be coming to all of that. Okay. Thank you, all of you, for being interactive in the chat actually. So this machine will just take a minute or two to start. And here we go. This is my Windows machine, which I'll be using as a target. Okay. Now I'll go back into Caldera and we'll click on deploy agent. Choose an agent. There are 3 types of an agent: Sandcat, Ragdoll, and Manix. Okay. So Sandcat is a agent written in Go language. Ragdoll is an agent in Python, and Manix is an agent in, it's just a reverse shell TCP agent. Sandcat is available for Linux, Windows, and Mac. Ragdoll is only for Linux and Mac, and Manix is again available for Linux, Windows, and Mac. I'll choose Sandcat over here. But one thing you need to know, if you are choosing Sandcat as an agent, because it's written in Go, on the target machine, there should be Go language installed. I'll just quickly check if in this Windows, if there is Golang installed or not. So I'll open just CMD and just click on Go, and yeah, the Go is installed, or Go version. So it's Go version 1.18.3. Okay. So I'll choose Sandcat as an agent, click on Windows, and see, it will tell me that enter an IP address over here. So here I have to mention my cloud machine IP, for which the agent will be using a reverse connection to. So I want my agent to connect back onto this particular IP where my Caldera is running. Agent's implant name. What will be the process name in which the agent will be running in background? And extensions, it could be PDF, exe, whatever, just to obfuscate, or just kind of impersonate the Windows machine. Okay, so I won't do the extension part as of now, but agent implant name, it means that in the background process, what will be the name through which the agent will be running. So instead of Splunk D, I can choose SVC host. Now, SVC host is a legitimate Microsoft process, and there are many SVC hosts running inside a Windows machine. I mean, just trying to, being, under the hood that, okay, this is a legitimate SVC host. Okay. And there are various variations, communicates through HTTPS contact, deploy as blue team instead of red, compile the red team with comma separated values, etc., etc. Let's not go that deep as of now. Okay. Just as of now. And I'll just go with the first one as of now. Copy this thing, go in my Windows system, and here I'll execute this particular thing in PowerShell. And if I just paste that command, let us just wait. You see SVC host. I'll just click on allow access over here. And it's running. If I open my task manager, now there will be obviously multiple SVC hosts running. SVC host. Oops, sorry. We need something more concrete. I'm not sure why it's not showing over here. But if you check the same thing inside utilities like Process Explorer or Process Hackers, it will show you SVC host running on the C public users public path. Okay. So how to confirm the agent is deployed? You can see over here now. Status alive and trusted. An agent is there. Privilege is elevated already. Okay. PID is 4620. This is the process ID where the SVC host.exe, which is not a legitimate, but this is an Caldera's agent where it is running. Okay. And platform is Windows. Now, what I can do is I can go into operations and I can choose select one operation, or let me just create a new operation over here. Operation name, I'll be selecting as testing, atomic, anything. I'm just testing it out, right? Adversary. There are certain adversary groups already there, So if you want to perform on discovery, only the discovery things will be carried out in the terms of tactics. I'll choose manual as of now, and I'll click on start. Okay. Now see the current state is running of this operation, and this button is important for me over here now. Potential link. I can click on this potential link. You see agent is listed over here. Executor, CMD, PowerShell. I'll choose PowerShell. And then tactics. What tactic I want? So I want discovery and techniques. These are the techniques. Now, not the entire attack framework is there inside Caldera, right? But still, these are the techniques you see, and each technique is given its technique ID, which can be referred back to the attack framework again. So for example, I want to check for system network connection discovery, T1049 as a technique. You see, if I expand this, it will tell me that what command it will be executing inside the PowerShell. I can modify this if I am good at it. Okay. I know what's happening over here, right? I can modify and then I can execute, and then I can click on add potential link. You see, one particular technique is, there over here now. It's on the status collect. Okay. Now let's just, try to add some more potential links. For example, I'll add a few more. I'll add of collection, find files. I'll just quickly add a few more, okay? And then I'll show you something good. Screen capture, right? So these are onto the collect stages as of now. Okay. I can even choose obfuscation if all these techniques are being executed in the plain text inside PowerShell, which can be restricted at times. So I can choose base 64 as an obfuscation. Now, can you see over here? Success, success, and success. It means that all of these TTPs are able to, execute successfully. And if I, for example, click on view output, it will tell me, this was the output that it got. Over here, screen capture, view output. This is the path where the, agent took a screenshot and it is saved. Desktop screenshot. So let us just check. You see, it took a screenshot. Right? So whatever TTPs that are able to execute successfully, they'll be, listing out over here. Now let's just try some other, I guess, something which, search for possible credentials stored inside the registry. Oh, this was also successful. Right? And if a technique is not successful, it will just show a failed and a red color circle over here if it's failed, right? In a way, you're able to see that what are the TTPs that are being executed over here, right? Yeah, let's create a new operation as of now. I'll just give it as operation 2. And here I'll choose adversary this time as collection and click on start. Whatever the collection tactics will be there inside the collection operation or inside the collection group, it will be automatically executed. Yes, you can even modify it through the Calderas platform. Okay, you can go inside adversaries. So for example, we executed collection, right? These are the 4 things that are there. I can add more abilities to it. I can create a new profile completely. I can give it, I can go out to the attack website. I can check for those TTPs which are executed by famous APT groups, or I want my own custom TTPs. I can create a profile for it. I can just choose as VCL APT group. I can create a description. Okay, so VCL APT group, create something. Now, I'll come to the chat section later, guys. I'm sorry. I know you people are quite excited in writing so much over there. I'm also excited to see, but I'll just come to it after some time, just in some time. Now, over here, you see, I've just created a VCL APT group, and I can manually add, tactics and TTP. So I can choose, I want this, that. Next time I can go into operations and I can just execute my own custom operation. I don't need to do this potential manual thing again and again, right? I can create one single operation having all those TTPs that I want, and then test it again all the Windows machines where my agent is running at once. Boom. Right? If I go inside the operation 0, you see this particular thing was failed. Now I can even download this thing. I can choose include agent output as well. I could choose this full report, CSV, event logs, whatever. And here it is in the form of a JSON file. Do I have Notepad++? Yeah. So let's just try to open this. You see, you get this kind of JSON output as a form of a report, right? So this was very, very simple in general about Caldera. And I hope that it was clear, and with inclined towards whatever I've said so far in the theoretical terms. Okay. Now, if you are someone who are looking forward for more a simple solution, more or less a more simple solution, then yes, for that also it's there. For that, we have something called as Infection Monkey. Yeah, so there is one more tool that I also mentioned in the slides over here, Infection Monkey over here, right? So if you check this particular thing over here, for the Infection Monkey, I mean, I've not included any setup thing because, I mean, it's just a damn exe file. You just click on next, 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 and done. For Infection Monkey, what you need to do is you just need to go on to Google and Infection Monkey by Guardian Core. And you can go on to this particular website and there is a download button over there. Okay, not this. This is a documentation. Infection Monkey. You can click on free download over here. Just fill out this form and then you'll get an email, okay, with the download link. I'll also show you the email that I mean, I have already downloaded the exe file, so I won't download it again. So once you fill out the form, where is this Infection? Yeah, here you go. This is the kind of an email, depending upon what platform you select. So Infection Monkey is not only for Windows, it is for Linux, Mac as well. Okay, you can choose any platform. So I had choose Windows over here. So you can click this link and exe file will be downloaded. Okay, so I have already downloaded the exe file. You know, if I go into download section inside programs, see, I have this Infection Monkey file over here. I'll just quickly take up this file and put it inside my Windows machine. I don't want to run it on my main system. Okay, so here is the setup file and it's very simple. Just double click and I agree. Choose if you want some other location, you can even do that. Click on install and it will start installing the Infection Monkey. It has less use cases compared to Caldera, compared to Atomic Red Team, but the UI and all, it's very simple for the beginners. It's about to finish. Again, somewhat like Caldera, you'll get an option to choose an agent. Infection Monkey, called as Monkey Island, one and the same thing. And you see launch Monkey Island and create a shortcut on desktop. So I can choose launch Monkey Island and click on finish. You see it is starting Monkey Island now. I'll again choose allow. And what I'll do is I can visit this Monkey Island page. 192.168.29. Okay, so the IP address of my machine 164.131. I guess this is the IP of my VM, this particular Windows VM. Okay, and I can visit the on port 5000, visit the page on, and you see this is an error that I'm getting. I'll choose advanced and click on continue. And it will be a first time login, set up a username and a password. So I'll set up a username and a password quickly. And you see, there are main two scenarios: ransomware, simulate a ransomware infection inside a network, or a custom. So I'll choose custom. And see, if I go on run monkey option, I can choose from island, manual, or cloud security scan. Now, leave cloud thing as of now apart. What is from island and manual? From island means an agent will be deployed onto the same machine where Infection Monkey is running. So this is a machine where my Infection Monkey is running, and on this same machine, an agent will be configured where I can execute the tests. Manual means I want to execute on some other target. So see, I get a command over here, PowerShell or CMD command. Right? If it's Windows, Windows. If it's Linux, then Linux command. Right? So what I'll do is I'll just go back, and I want from island only. So where my monkey is running on the same island, I want the agent, because this is my target machine. I want to execute tests on this only. So I'll choose from island. Okay, but even before I do that, I can click on this configuration and configure the agent, that what are the tests. This is very amazing. You see, it has an entire attack framework inbuilt inside this particular tool, where you can, all the TTPs are not present. Okay, all the TTPs are not present, but there are some. So mandatory ones, it means that they will be there for sure. Enabled means I can choose, I want this particular TTPs or not. Okay, I can choose. So for example, out of all this, I want this thing to be enabled. I want this thing to be enabled, right? So I can do that. I can even go inside exploits. Okay, so I'll just choose cancel and I'll choose submit. And I can go inside exploits. These are the exploiters that we can use. I mean, I won't be going too deep inside this. Okay. Let's not go too deep as of now. It will be too confusing. Then network section, I can choose what are the range of the network, or what are the only hosts that I want to scan. The ransomware utility, it has its own ransomware simulation, Infection Monkey. That is why it is one of the most interesting ones out there into the market. Monkey, Linux post breach command, Windows post breach command, internal, what are the ports and all that are restricted. How I can basically restrict the entire monkey, or I can restrict the entire agent and limit it where to what extent it can be executed. Okay, so I'll go inside this particular thing, okay, and click on submit. I've done the rest. All I won't be going too deep as of now. And then I can go into run monkey, and I can choose from island. See, it started, right? And if I go here, I'll just click allow access. And then if I go into infection map, see, this is the machine. The more machines I connect, the more machines will be listed over here. And here you can see the logs that are coming in. And let the entire operation, execute first successfully. Yeah. So I'm back. I just went up to connect my charger. Okay. Yeah. So infection map is still running. And it will just take a minute or two more, I guess, to complete the entire operation. If I go inside security reports as of now, I guess it's over. Yeah, see, start over button is there. Now, so see, some monkeys are still running. So let it go. I'll just quickly show you the report. No critical issues were found depending upon the scope. And you see, the usernames were used for brute forcing, passwords used for brute forcing. The monkeys used the following exploits. Security findings, 0 immediate threats. And if I go down over here, more down inside the report, it will show me that these are the tactics so that whatever I had executed. Okay. Now, if I click on this zero trust report, I can say, okay, failed the tests, passed tests, right? Verified, I mean, needs to be verified. So if I check the data tab, you see, these are the tests that it got successfully executed. I can even check the events that were associated. Different kinds of reports are available. Attack report, see, successfully used. Success over here, Caldera, in Caldera, red was failed, means the test did not execute successfully. But in Infection Monkey, red means that these were the TTPs that were able to execute successfully. These are the not attempted ones, and these are tried but failed. Yellow means tried but failed. Red means these were the ones executed successfully. You can see, you can get list of all the techniques over here. Right? You can download this entire report in whatever format you want. And if you have done a ransomware simulation, you get the entire thing over here. All right. So this is about Infection Monkey. These are the two tools that I have, basically tried to, cover up. Apart from that, there are a lot I already mentioned. Okay. Now, as we are arriving towards the conclusion part, the very first thing before I, say something else, and before I come to the chat and give you people the stage, one thing, I'll be talking about the resources now to get started more inside this attack framework or inside this topic inclined towards what we are understanding in today's webinar. Okay. So as I already mentioned, I mean, yeah, technically speaking, again, just one slide I'll present. Thank you. Right. Technically, the presentation is over here for today. But that doesn't mean you are supposed to leave. Okay. Because the feedback form, when I have not provided it yet. If you want certificate, then please, be seated for some more time. Okay. So if I go onto this website, academy.virtualcyberlabs.com, this is the academy page. And here, if you go inside courses, also on Play Store, it's also available. So VCL Academy, Play Store. See, it's available on Play Store as well. Okay. So you can download it on Play Store. And if I go inside home page, and over here, where it is, inside the blue teaming, the very first course, exploring the wide scope of MITRE ATT&CK. I have only developed the course. In fact, the content inside the course will be updated very soon by the end of this month. Okay. It's not something that we make one course and we make it and we leave it. We update it. Okay. I have an entire roadmap, that is my job at VCL, to make sure you all people get then up-to-date content. Okay. Take care of the academic part. So this entire course, it's a small course. I already said the content is being updated. More content is coming in. Some of the outdated content, I'll be eliminating it out. Red team simulation, Caldera usage, atomic red team. Okay. You see course roadmap and bonus content. It is also coming. By the end of this month, it will, hopefully it will be coming. So if I just try to show you this particular course, I'll go back and click on continue. You see, the entire course is there of MITRE ATT&CK is there, right? So the content is locked, but yeah, there are more and more things that I'll be adding into this particular course. Okay, you can refer to this particular course, and I'm not, kind of, कि अरे भाई खरीदो क्योंकि खरीदने का है ही नहीं, free course है वो already. ठीक है? And if I just quickly show you more things that could be added into the course as a part of a future roadmap. Sorry. You see, atomic red team, automated method, operationalizing attack, purple teaming, demonstrating vector, infection monkey, all of this coming up into the, course ahead in the future. So you can take up this particular course for MITRE ATT&CK, absolutely free. क्यों 10-15 हजार फालतू की चीजों में घलाने, free में मिल रहा है. And it's not something that I'm hyping it out, but if you search it on Google also, where is this? AICTE free courses. We are listed over here as well onto the AICTE platform directly by AICTE. Exploring the wide scope of MITRE ATT&CK. Even, it's not simple that anyone can list over here. The company have to come forward, they go through an examination, these people see the course, the quality and all, and then they post it on AICTE platform. And we are glad that we are one of them who are listed over here, you see. And not only MITRE ATT&CK, there are a lot of free courses, nearly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to 8 free courses there, many more coming in the future. Okay, you can go through. For again, one more, there is an I guess this is the only thing. Attack IQ Academy. Here, a lot of free courses are there on purple teaming, MITRE ATT&CK and all. Go and grab, you get a certificate as well. You get a certificate on our free courses as well, right? So these are some of the resources that you can refer in out for the MITRE ATT&CK thing. I mean, also now a small quick promotion, guys. Itna sab acha bataya, so much of I have said. Now a small quick promotion banta hai. So we have recently also came up with, I mean, the main USP of our particular company is 3 courses: CCTR, CESO, and CCC. Out of which I'll be talking about this particular course, Certified Enterprise Security Officer, CESO version 2. And this is a course that we have designed for the ones who are looking forward to get placed inside cybersecurity in companies, 100% placement guaranteed course. You will be one of those top tier candidates where you will be an important asset to any organization. We have included such a beautiful content inside this specific course. A lot of information is already available out there on our social media handles already. Still, just talking very quickly, it is a full course of 21 modules. It's a kind of a course come small diploma only, because it runs nearly for 2 to 2.5 months directly, right? A lot of things are available over here. MITRE ATT&CK framework, threat intelligence, adversary simulation in very core at its depth. एडवर्सरी सिमुलेशन मैंने जो बताया आज के वेबिनार में, वो कोर्स का 5% भी नहीं था. इट्स नॉट इवन 5%. SIEM solutions, entire QRadar, entire Azure, entire Elk Stack, entire Splunk, entire Wazoo, 5 SIEM solutions. I bet on you, you go out on Google and search for IBM QRadar course, search for the price that people are providing, not less than 30,000, 25,000, 20,000 minimum for sure. Go and search for Splunk, 10, 15,000 for sure minimum for just Splunk, for just QRadar. And in this entire thing, we have included all those SIEM solutions. We have included threat hunting, we have included threat intelligence, we have included digital forensic, incident response aspects, SOAR aspects. Okay. Dipanshu sir himself is a geek and enthusiast. So he have included blockchain security, kiosk setup, even NFT scams. Okay. You get this kind of card and a certificate delivered to your doorstep, and many, many more advantages. Okay. Now, I don't want to make this webinar a promotional thing. Okay. Do you provide completion search for both free and paid? Yeah, for both we provide. Okay. So I would like to just, before I end this particular thing and, generate the feedback form for you all, if Dipanshu sir is over here and he wants to talk about in terms of CESO or something, if he can unmute, just in case. I guess I need to make him one of the hosts over here now. Allowed to talk. Yeah, Dipanshu sir, I have given you the access for mic.
Hi, folks. Hi, Urvesh. Am I audible to you, sir?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. Hi, guys. So Dipanshu this side, and thank you so much for taking out such a wonderful session. To be honest, right? Although we guys have been discussing it internally as well, that what would be probably the next topic and all, right? So since I have also attended, and I was just curious to know about how you guys have felt about this webinar. So before we can introduce even the costing, even anything related to CESO version 2 to all of you, I genuinely want that if in case you can just show some sort of an excitement whatsoever you have felt after attending this webinar in the terms of the values or in the terms of some sort of a learning experience probably, if in case, although there will be a feedback form, but just to understand that how was it, a good and a bad, anything like that, guys in the chat. Risa also just message you something, just give me a second. Yeah.
Okay, I'll just check.
Great. I hope that your weekend became quite valuable probably. And there will be many more sessions which will be coming very soon, to be honest, right? This is not something which is the only limitation we are having, that okay, एक session and we are done, right? And the recordings will be definitely available to the attendees on the priority basis. And since this entire video was also live on the on the YouTube, so it will be very soon coming on the VCL YouTube channel as well. Also, it's already there on Urvesh Sir's channel, right, over YouTube. Guys, now here comes the main point, right? So CESO version 2 is an entire program which took us somewhere around 6 months to design, right? Which took us somewhere around over 20 HRs, right? We guys sat together. There were a lot of techniques, there are a lot of modules which have been added into this course just by keeping it in mind that what the industry needs right now and what it will be needing in future, right? Before wasting a further time, since the entire course module with over 21 modules, right, the entire course curriculum will be very soon dropped in the group itself. If in case you are there in the group, and if in case you're not, so I've already dropped the group link in the chat. Just scroll it up and you can find it there, right? Just get into the group first. Now, once the course curriculum is out there in the group, just have a look over there, right? Just try finding out, and you will not find a single reason to not join it, to be honest, apart from the definitely the financial part, but we have also covered it very in a very effective manner. We'll coming back to it, right? The course pricing for this entire curriculum in international market, let's talk about in the international market initially, that is somewhere around over 80,000. The reason being is that these 21 modules are a complete, this CESO version 2 is a sort of an combination of these 21 modules which are an individual courses, each and every module with over 5 to 6 hours, right? A sort of an learning. There is QRadar, there is MITRE attacks, then there is Wazoo SIEM, then there is ELK stack, Kibana, Windows privilege escalation, your kiosk setups. We will be even understanding how to break out in ATMs. Can you imagine breaking out ATMs? Literally, it's a 5 GB virtual machine which we will be providing you. That is an extraordinary level of game. Why we are trying to teach you about ATM breakout? Not that we are trying to make you into the sort of a negative side, but just to make sure that you understand how these ATM operates at backend, and you can try to understand and try to match the industry standards. Also, we have not even left a single thing which can be probably a future ready thing. For an example, smart contract security. If in case you know about smart contracts, if in case you know about blockchain, then it's fine. But if in case you don't, then you can consider it to be a sort of a golden opportunity for you if in case you are early into this field. So these 21 modules in international market cost somewhere over 80,000, and we have even shown it to over different HRs, tried getting out the feedbacks and all. Although since we hosted a private batch to the people who have already enrolled into VCL courses in past, and the course became a massive success. The people have been loving the entire content and all, and that's why we eventually planned after this pilot run project that yes, now we are ready to make it industry ready, and we are ready to host all of you into this wonderful course. Right? This course pricing is 25,000. This is a 70 hours learning course which will be running for the next 2.5 to 3 months, right? Keeping in mind that most of you are coming from the corporate background and most of you probably will be the college grads, probably in your second to fourth year, right? The classes will be only happening on weekends. That is a massive request which has been, pushed to us from a lot of students, and that's why we have kept it over there. You will be getting out all the lab successes so that even the person who is not able to, who is not able to perform these sort of tools and techniques just because due to his laptop specification, he can just get into the labs and boom, he's done over there. There will be everything from scratch to advanced entirely into this single platform CESO version 2. Right now, to the people who are over here, this is for you guys. You will be getting a 20% discount. That means that you will be getting this course at 20,000. Also, just to cover up your finances part, there will be an installment options available just to make sure that if in case you want to get into this, so financials would not be a barrier. There will be two installments which can be stretched up to three for some rare students, right? But there will be two installments, equal deposits, and we are looking for you to getting into this amazing course. The one thing which I can assure is that the trainers are nice. You already had a sort of a glimpse of Urvesa, right? Hardly for an hour you saw him, and you are already understanding the level of content which he has been trying to teach you within an hour. Imagine what if this will be happening with different combination of trainers who will be joining us from IITs as well, and some guest lecturers who are doing best in their domains, just to make sure that you are meeting the industry standards. There will be mock interviews, there will be job assistance, everything up in a single roof. So looking forward to you there. And if there would be any sort of a doubt, you can just post it into the group. Me, Urvesa, and the other team members are the admin over there. So you can just contact any one of us. Probably Urvesa and me would be a better choice if in case you want to know about the content or any sort of an enrollment procedure. And yeah, rest all good from my end. Urvesa, to you. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Dipanshu sir, for providing this wonderful insight into the course. Okay, guys, finally, everything over right from the beginning up till the end. And I really hope that you enjoyed the session. And yeah, uh, I mean, that's the reason we, VCL try to promote the things at the end, because we know that once we start the session, the audience will be there sitting at the end. We make sure that we ensure that the sessions are engaging. We ensure that the audience is enjoying it, so that every audience is, maintaining towards the end. And I'm really glad and happy to see that only a few participants have, exited from the webinar. That too, some of them also mentioned me that because of issue, they're not able to continue. But till the end, and I'm thank you, and grateful to all of you for sitting up till the end. I don't know whether you are enjoying the session or you're in the end for the certificate part, whatever it is. I'm assuming that you enjoyed my session, right? So uh, now I'm just sharing the feedback form, Google form, inside the chat section. Make sure you don't share it anywhere else, because you people have given your time and interest, right? So you only deserve the certificate. It doesn't matter that there are only 5 people or 50 people, but those who have attended till the end, they are the ones who really deserve the certificate of participation for this entire 1 hour or 1 hour and 10-20 minutes, whatever it was. Okay, so don't share it among with your friends कि free में certificate मिल रहा है. It's not a point, but you have given your time to it, right? So here I have shared the feedback form for the certificate. Make sure you fill in the feedback form, because the feedback, if you want a certificate, then fill the feedback form. But if you want just knowledge, you can drop on the certificate. So not about the certificate, about the time spent. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ajay. Thank you so much for your feedback that you're dropping out in the chat section. Okay. Would the recorded video will be sent? Yes, it will be available on VCL's, Virtual Cyber Labs YouTube channel. By today, at the end of the day, the video will be up there. Okay, you can review the entire session whenever you want. Okay, and yeah, I'm resharing the feedback form link again in the chat, right? In case for the ones who have missed it. Okay. So you can fill in the feedback form. Once you fill in the feedback form, you can what you can say, you can get the certificate by the today's end of the day. You will be getting it on email. Okay, there will be an announcement that I'll be making on the group that the certificates are sent. YouTube channel link. Okay, I'll also share that. I mean, it's very simple. You just have to search Virtual Cyber Labs on YouTube and you'll get the very first channel you'll be seeing with our logo. But still, I'll just share the channel link as well. Yeah, so this is the YouTube channel link for Virtual Cyber Labs, where you'll be getting the access to this particular webinar's recording. Okay. And here, the feedback form once again. Okay. Well, I'll just wait for a minute or two more, guys, in case if you're not yet able to access the feedback form, or in case if you want to say something more, ask something more to anyone, to me, to Dipanshu sir. I'll just wait for a minute or two more, right? And then I'll end this particular webinar. Also, Dipanshu sir have shared the course curriculum, the PDF, the course brochure inside the group. You can check, module-wise topics inside that particular PDF. The entire syllabus of the CESO version 2, topic-wise, have been shared on the group. You can go and check it out as well. Okay, so I can see people are still filling the feedback form. And a lot of maximum of you people have, given very, very positive response to us. Thank you so much. Okay. And this is what, keeps us going on. This is what keeps us enrolling and motivated, helping you out, people, creating an impact and showing the reality of cybersecurity face to the industry today. Sir, my laptop is not as per the specification need. So is there any option for me to enroll? It doesn't require. If your laptop doesn't have a good configuration, we will be providing you virtual labs. The company name is Virtual Cyber Labs, and we won't be giving you virtual labs. Then what's the use, right? So don't worry, Bhagat, at all. Even if you don't have a good amount of, yeah, if you have, then it's really great. We try to encourage that if you have a decent configuration, having 16 GB of RAM or something, if you just make sure basic requirements i3 and 8 GB minimum. Yeah, so this is today i3 and 8 GB is something everyone has. Right? This is what we assume. But even if you don't have, it's completely all right. Although there will be some here and there, in terms of the practice, but if you can, then it will be really great. If you have, even if you don't, it's okay. Doesn't matter. Okay, so I'll just wait for 1 minute more. And then I guess it will be the time to end the session. Okay, I guess no doubts are coming in now. Cool. So thank you everyone for joining in. I hope you enjoyed the session, and I can see from the feedback your valuable responses. And with this being said, I'll sign off from this webinar, wishing you a very good day ahead and take care. And I hope we'll meet soon. Not if in the course, not if you're not enrolling, it's okay, but at least somewhere near in the future with again some this kind of free webinars and resources. Have a very happy weekend, everyone. Thank you so much.